December 8th, 1976. Long Beach, California. A TV crew is setting up inside a funhouse called Laugh in the Dark. A prop guy grabs the creepy orange mannequin hanging from a fake gallows, and its arm comes off in his hands. Inside the arm, bone. Actual human bone. That is not standard mannequin equipment. This is the story of how history's worst outlaw became its hardest working corpse. This is a grave mistake. Meet Elmer McCurdy, born January 1st, 1880, in Maine, to a 17-year-old mom and a father listed as no comment. The family handled it delicately. His uncle raised him as his own son, and nobody told Elmer anything. For years. When Elmer found out, he handled it even more delicately by becoming the angriest teenage drinker in the state of Maine. He trained as a plumber, lost the job, his mom died, his grandpa died, and Elmer just started walking west. In 1907, he joined the army, where they taught him machine guns and, this is real, nitroglycerin demolition. Remember the nitroglycerin training? It's about to do a lot of heavy lifting in this story. Badly. Honorably discharged in 1910, Elmer immediately got arrested, carrying chisels, hacksaws, money sacks, and funnels for nitroglycerin. His defense? It was all parts for a foot-operated machine gun he was inventing. The jury said, "Sounds legit." Acquitted. A normal man would take the second chance. Elmer took the nitroglycerin. In March 1911, he robbed his first train. The safe held $4,000. Elmer, a trained demolition expert, used enough nitro to remodel the entire car. The blast destroyed the safe and the money inside it. The silver coins melted and fused to the wreckage. So, America's newest outlaw spent his getaway chipping coins off a safe like a raccoon working a vending machine. Haul, a few $100s, planned $4,000. But hey, first tries are hard. Surely the bank job would go better. September 1911. Elmer spends 2 hours tunneling into a bank wall, then blows the vault door clean through the building. The inner safe, the one with the money, doesn't open. His lookout panics and just leaves. Forever. Elmer grabs $150 in coins from a tray and walks home. The tray wasn't even locked. October 4th, 1911. The big one. A train carrying $400,000 in Osage oil money. One problem. Trains, it turns out, look very similar. Elmer and his crew stopped the wrong one. A regular passenger train. Total haul, $46, the conductor's watch, a coat, and 2 jugs of whiskey. The papers called it history's smallest train robbery. $46. Split 3 ways. Elmer's cut of the crime of the century? About $15 and a jug. Elmer fled to a friend's ranch, climbed into the hayloft, and made a bold tactical decision. Drink both jugs of evidence. At dawn on October 7th, a posse with bloodhounds surrounded the barn. Elmer, extremely hungover, opened fire. The night before, he'd told a ranch hand, "They'll never take me alive." And honestly, he kept that promise. After an hour-long shootout, 1 bullet to the chest ended Elmer McCurdy, age 31. Career earnings, roughly 0. Now, normally, this is where the story ends. A failed outlaw, a cheap grave, a lesson about nitroglycerin moderation. For Elmer McCurdy, this is where the story starts. Because Elmer was about to book the longest gig in showbiz. Nobody claimed the body. So the undertaker in Pawhuska, Oklahoma embalmed him with an arsenic formula built to last. It worked too well. Elmer basically turned into a statue of himself. So the undertaker did the reasonable thing. He stood Elmer in the corner, named him the bandit who wouldn't give up, and charged a nickel to look at him. Where do you put the nickel? his mouth. You put the nickel in the dead man's mouth. This was considered normal. Fun fact, the corpse out-earned the outlaw. Elmer's first consistently profitable venture was being deceased. In 1916, two men arrived claiming to be Elmer's long-lost brothers, here to give him a proper burial. Beautiful. Touching. They were carnival owners. Smartman. 2 weeks later, said Blader, 2 weeks later, the outlaw who would never be captured alive was headlining a traveling sideshow, which technically was true. He was never captured alive. Marketing, the one industry where Elmer could not fail. For the next 50 years, Elmer toured America harder than most rock bands. Sideshows, a crime museum, a cross-country foot race. In 1933, a studio propped him up in theater lobbies as a dead dope fiend to promote a film called Narcotic. Wrong cause of death, wrong guy, wrong everything. Elmer's agent, a man with 0 living clients, issued no corrections. Decades passed. He was warehoused, loaned to a horror movie, then sold with a batch of wax figures for 10 grand. And that's the key detail. By the 60s, everyone assumed he was wax. The paperwork basically said mannequin 1 used. He got shipped to Mount Rushmore, where a windstorm blew off the tips of his ears and fingers. Showbiz is brutal. Eventually, he landed at a Long Beach amusement park, spray-painted glow orange, hanging from a gallows inside a funhouse. 65 years dead, and Elmer McCurdy had a longer filmography than most working actors in Los Angeles. Let that sink in. Which brings us back to December 8th, 1976. A prop man, an arm, a very bad afternoon. The coroner found the gunshot wound, the antique arsenic embalming, and in his mouth, a 1924 penny and ticket stubs. Ticket stubs to a crime museum. Elmer was identified by his own merchandise. The receipts were literally inside him. On April 22, 1977, 300 people watched Elmer McCurdy finally get buried in Guthrie, Oklahoma, Boot Hill, next to real outlaws. Then they poured 2 feet of concrete over the casket. Not to keep grave robbers out, to keep Elmer from going back on tour. Elmer McCurdy failed at every job he ever tried, then absolutely nailed one for 65 years straight. The job was cadaver. If you enjoyed this, subscribe. New grave mistakes every week. Elmer would want you to. He can't stop you either way.